If you're watching this channel, it's because you don't enjoy watching the world squander what Christendom built, but you want to do your part. And chances are you've heard me mention a great means by doing just that. Email made by and for Catholics. Check out fidei.email. That's FIDEI.email. Built for Catholic individuals, families, organizations, and groups. They're private, secure, and of course, they're Catholic. And they're offering 2 months off on your first year for an annual subscription if you enter the coupon code Return to Tradition without spaces. That's the name of this channel, without spaces, at checkout. Last week I had the unfortunate duty of reporting to you an insult to Our Lady coming from Pope Francis, where he essentially demoted her from our mother to being our sister, which theologically doesn't make any sense anyway, but he did it. And now I get to report to you another slight against Our Lady, which happened on the same day, actually, from a bishop in Panama. You see, the Feast of the Assumption is one of the handful of holy days of obligation in the Church. The Church doesn't ask much of us except to live the way we've been taught to live, which can be hard, of course, hence why we have the sacrament of reconciliation or penance. But we also have the duty to go to Mass on Sundays and on holy days of obligation, unless we have a very good reason to do it. But that's not good enough for one bishop, or rather, that's too much to ask for one bishop. You see, he's decided to embrace synodality, which is sort of the in vogue heresy of the day gripping the Church, just the latest outgrowth of the modernist heresy. He has decided that instead of the holy day of obligation, let's engage in some synodal ecumenical dialogue. This is a remarkable story, and it comes to us from an independent blog called CathCon with this headline: Archbishop promotes interfaith event instead of the Assumption. So this is an issue of, at the very least, lukewarmness. That's a term we tend to throw around a lot, but what does it actually mean to be lukewarm in the faith? Catholic Answers has a good answer for this, so let's just turn to their definition. Quote, from the context, lukewarm means a condition of being neither antagonistic, cold, or passionate, hot, in the pursuit of his Christian duties. End quote. Their answer involves some scriptural context, but their explanation goes on to describe lukewarmness as simply not caring about Christ or your duties, typically as a bishop to the faith. We all can be guilty of being lukewarm. You don't have to be a bishop to be guilty of that. The heart of ecumenical dialogue is lukewarmness, because anyone who thinks there are real fruits to be had by ecumenical dialogue, other than conversions from false religion to the true faith, is by definition lukewarm. You cannot possibly believe Christ's claims about himself, or what the Catholic Church teaches about our origins, where the Church comes from, and the Church teach the truth about what Scripture calls the gods of the Gentiles, and not be lukewarm. It comes with the territory. Ecumenical dialogue, especially now as an open practice in the Church, something the Roman Curia strives for, is institutionalized lukewarmness. And we have a perfect example today. See, today's bishop, Archbishop Jose Domingo Ulloa, is a bishop from South America who didn't seem to care about a holy day of obligation and instead chose to dialogue and accompany people who deny the Catholic faith. Not for the purpose of calling them to conversion and to come home to the only place you can truly meet Christ. No, not for that. From the article, quote, Catholics in Panama have expressed their deep indignation and sadness at the recent initiative of Archbishop Jose Domingo Ulloa, who has launched an invitation to participate in the Afternoon of the Temples, an interfaith event that will take place on August 15th, the day of the Solemnity of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary. This event has been organized in collaboration with leaders of various religious denominations, including the reformist Rabbi Gustavo Krasnelek, known for his public positions in favor of the James Martin crowd. The Afternoon of the Temples, which seeks to promote respect and understanding between different religions, has been harshly criticized by members of the Catholic community, who see in this activity a lack of respect towards one of the most important feasts of the Church, dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary. The activity invites participants to visit temples of various denominations, some of which are known for their contempt towards the figure of the Virgin Mary, which has generated even more controversy. For many faithful, the fact that this event is celebrated on the same date as the Solemnity of the Assumption, as well as the anniversary of the founding of Panama City, originally named in honor of Our Lady of the Assumption, is a direct affront to Catholic traditions. Critics accuse Archbishop Oyoya of promoting religious syncretism and distorting the Catholic faith by encouraging the faithful to participate in activities in temples that advocate beliefs contrary to the teachings of the Church. Furthermore, discontent with Archbishop Oyoya is not limited to this event. He is accused of allowing and encouraging questionable liturgical practices in the churches under his jurisdiction, such as the participation of women at the altar, communion in the hand, and the celebration of masses with cultural elements that some consider inappropriate. These practices, according to critics, are signs of a decline in reverence and respect for the sacred traditions of the Church. The decision to promote an interfaith event on such a significant day for Catholics has left many perplexed and concerned about the direction the Church in Panama is taking under Archbishop Oyoya. The tension between preserving Catholic traditions and openness to other religion has become a flashpoint of debate, leaving the Catholic community divided and questioning ecclesiastical leadership in the country." End quote. Who's really surprised by this? I mean, honestly, where one heresy is present, it's likely you're going to find many more with it. Modernism is a heresy defined by Pope St. Pius X as the synthesis of all heresies, meaning as the mixture of all heresies together, and for good reason. As the saintly pontiff teaches, modernism annihilates all religions by making them all into one big and different soup of personal feelings shared with others. There's no better example of that than thinking this ridiculous event that did in fact happen in Panama on the Feast of the Assumption. This is a perfect example of it. You notice also the effect of this has been actually, in a weirdly ironic kind of way, to undermine his own synodal efforts. After all, what's the point of pushing synodality within the Czech Catholic Church? The point, we keep being told over and over and over again, is to push for unity, unity, unity. To listen to voices that aren't listened to have the laity's voices heard, to have their importance elevated in the church, and to get rid of clericalist things, clericalist attitudes about the bishops and the priests being superior to the laity. All this kind of nonsense. That's the stated purpose of synodality. And this archbishop just torched it. Because of course he did. It should go without saying that you cannot have internal unity in the church when your actions cause scandal and you operate from a high profile office in the church, like being one of the most important bishops in your country. Again, how's that synodality working for you? Let me know what you think about this in the comments, please. Hey, like and subscribe if you haven't. It certainly helps. So does sharing this on social media. That helps too. And if you've ever thought about supporting the work of Return to Tradition, it does help keep these daily messages coming, and any support you can offer is greatly appreciated. Options in the description box below include Patreon, Subscribestar, and that join button. As always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.